Welcome back to my kitchen. This is Cece. Today we are going to be making a super easy dessert. I love to make this dessert. I love apple pie. I love apple crumble, but I don't want to spend the time doing the pie crust, but I want that apple pie type of feel. So I thought I would try to doctor up a dessert that has some apple pie influences, but it also has that apple cheese Danish feel where it has some cream cheese in it as well. And then we're going to finish it off with a gorgeous glaze on top. So what do we need? Real super easy. So what are you going to need? You're going to need a box of cake mix, and I'm using the golden one in this version, but I have done it before using the spiced cake mix as well. So you could use that as an alternative. And then you're going to need 21 ounces, minimum 21 ounces of apple pie filling. Now, I like to use two of these cans. They're 540 milliliters. So that's about 18 ounces a can, but I like to have lots of apple, so I double it up. So if you don't want lots of apple, you want to go with 21 ounce can if you're in the States. In Canada, these are an 18 ounce, so you stick with one. And then we're gonna got some cinnamon, and I got a cup of sour cream. This is a thick 14% sour cream, 3 eggs at room temperature, and that is it. That's all you really need. We'll show you how I do the glaze separately. And then make sure you preheat the oven at 350. So I've got the oven preheating, and I've already buttered and floured my cake pan here. So let's get started on this one. So easy to do. We're not adding any additional sugar because that's already in the apple pie filling, right? So you definitely don't want that. Sometimes I sift it, sometimes I don't. Depends whether I remember or not. And then we are going to put in the 3 eggs. Breaking my cardinal rule again. Okay, you can use your handheld beater. I just simply whisk it together. It comes together in a jiffy anyway. Prevents me from having to do more dishes. It's going to be a great sort of apple pie coffee cake. And I love making this. This is a great recipe to do for like Christmas morning breakfast, or if you have guests staying overnight, serving them with this gorgeous cake. So easy to make when you get up in the morning. And you can also pre-make it ahead of time, and it keeps in the fridge for like 3 to 4 days. But honestly, it never lasts more than a day or two. Tops 2 days. Because you're constantly nibbling at it. Try to grab all of the cake mix in with the eggs. Perfect. And then I'm going to add in the sour cream. And I love using sour cream because it has a gorgeous tanginess to the dessert. And it offsets the sweetness from the apple pie filling. It's amazing how much you leave behind if you don't use your spatula. And so your measurements are off. Mix this together. And we're going to add in a 1/4 cup of water. So you're going to need a 1/4 cup of water. And I'll just add a little bit at a time and incorporate that. So this helps loosen the batter. I mean, you could replace the 1/4 cup of water with oil, but I prefer to use the water. Now, when you add the water, do you do it with the eggs and the water, then mix it in? There's no set way of doing it. This is just how I like to do it. You could put everything in the bowl and just stick the blender in it and go for it. That's another way of doing it. I do love these measuring cups that have handles on it. Helps me while I'm stirring it. Now, what type of seasonings do you want to put in here? If you're not using the spice blend, then you can decide to have just the regular apple pie on the cake, or you could add in whatever seasoning combination you like. You might want to just do cinnamon, maybe a little bit of nutmeg. That's really up to you. Okay, I think that's good enough. Now you could replace the sour cream with buttermilk, but I just find that the mixture, the cake batter, is much runnier. It's not as thick as what we have here. Again, I love cinnamon, so this is really your call on how much cinnamon you want to add in here. But I start off with a teaspoon, right? Just a teaspoon, and I pop it in and I mix it. I like to put that in the batter because then when you're eating the coffee cake, you get the cinnamon as well in with the apples, and then you get some cinnamon in the apples that we're going to put in as well. That doesn't that look gorgeous? So quickly to come together. It's amazing what sour cream can do. The trick is we're going to pour that into the cake tray, and that's key. I do like to use an oblong, like a rectangular baking tray, because I don't want the cake to be very high. It's like a coffee cake, right? You want to kind of like just a little nibbles. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we put the batter in the baking dish. I'm going to just leave it aside. I put in the apple pie into a dish here, and what I do like to do is just go ahead and just take my knife in randomly and just cut it, because what I found by not doing this, you just had these big chunks of apple in the cake, and so when you go to cut it, it sort of hangs out on certain areas, and it's also just a little daintier to eat, especially if your teeth grab a hold of a piece of apple and you just keep pulling it out of the cake. So, all right, that should be okay. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the cake, and you're just going to spoon in the apple pie. Just start in one spot and just spoon it in, because what's going to happen is the cake's going to grow around it. Try to declump them. I do like to be generous with my apple pie filling. Perfect. And I'm just going to grab a little bit from this can, because remember, you need 21 ounces. And that can that I had is 18 ounces. So, okay. Try to add some more. Looks yummy already, doesn't it? I love the Edie Smith apple pie because it's made out of the Jonah Gold apples, and they hold so nicely and so tasty. Okay. I'll put up an image of what a Jonah Gold apple actually looks like. All right. Let's grab spatula, trying to move some stuff, and I'll try to grab as much of the, here we go. Don't want to get rid of that because that's got a lot of flavor and it'll add body as well. I told you it was going to be easy, didn't I? And then what I like to do is I will just sprinkle a little bit. Again, put as much cinnamon or as little cinnamon as you want. Okay. And then this cream cheese is at room temperature. The most important part is you got to have your cream cheese at room temperature to do this. And let's say you got home and you got to put this, you want to do this quickly. You can always take your cream cheese and put it in a beaker and submerge it in hot water for 15 minutes. Or because I'm preheating the oven, I just stuck it on the rack in the oven and it took care of it within 10 minutes. This was rock hard, so it was rock hard and now it's perfect. All right, and then what I like to do is I just cut chunks off, and this will all melt into the cake. And if there's still chunks at the top after we make it, doesn't matter. It just gives you that apple Danish feel as well to the cake. I love to have these ingredients on hand in the pantry. It allows me to do these quick little desserts put together. The other thing too, this is great to take to a church function or a potluck where you got to bring something, and this is the season, so you might as well bring this. I've never had anybody complain they didn't like this dish. Everyone's really asked me for the recipe. It's almost embarrassing to tell them that it's really not a recipe. You just take these things and plump them together and off you go. But I love quick things that you can put together, because I don't know about you, I am super busy between work and running the household and everything. It's just a lot going on. Okay, so that's it. We're just gonna put this into the oven. So remember, I've had the oven preheating at 350, and you want to put it in the oven for 30 minutes and come back and check. You're just looking for the middle of the cake being baked with your, oh my, I ran out of the word. Forgot about the word. Sorry. You just want to test your cake with your cake tester, with your toothpick, just to make sure it's cooked. But 350 at 30 minutes is when I come and check it, and you'll see that all the cheese will kind of melt and everything will pop up. I'll give you a visual when it's sort of halfway. Actually, no, when it's done, because I don't want to drop the cake. All right, let's clean this. I like to clean the edges before I put them in the oven. Okay, let's go put that in the oven. I always like to put it on the lower rack. And if I do need to move it up, I'll move it up later, but at least I start there. Doesn't that look gorgeous? It smells amazing. And it took 35 minutes in my oven at 350. I used just a regular conventional oven, did not use the fan, the convection. So nicely even baked, and I just stuck a toothpick in the middle and then around just to make sure that it was baked and it's perfect. So we're gonna let this cool down for about 10 minutes or more, and then we're gonna do a nice glaze on top of it. Doesn't that look scrumptious? Ooh, wow. See, I love doing the apple bits on the top of the batter, because then you get these beautiful crevices on the top of the cake, and it's decoration in itself. Doesn't that look gorgeous? You can see why I wanted to go on a long rectangular pan, because I didn't want the height. I want a nice, sort of like an even coffee cake base, right? Oh, can't wait. Woohoo. All right, so we're gonna make the glaze. So you're gonna need a cup of powdered sugar, and we're going to take some milk. So you're going to need about 1.5 tablespoons. And we're going to judge it, you know, if it's too thick or if it's too runny, we'll adjust accordingly. And I do like to cool down the cake before I put the glaze on it. So we're just going to take the powdered sugar, and again, you know, as we adjust the powdered sugar, you want to do very little, like 1/2 teaspoon at a time. And if it's too runny, you just add more powdered sugar. Look at that. I'm gonna add another little bit because I want it to be a little bit runny so I can pour it. Exactly what we're looking for. Okay. And then I simply just pour. You can do a drizzle, whichever way you like to see it. And then, I mean, you can just leave it like this if you like it, if you want to. But what I like to do is, I do like to put some slivered almonds on top. Some slivered blanched almonds. You could toast these, but why? So you could take some simple ingredients and just turn it into something so decadent and so homey and comforting. So let's take a look at this. How can someone say no to that? Now, I used apple pie. You could have used cherry pie filling. Could have done the exact same thing with apple pie, with pumpkin pie filling as well. Any type of fruit. All right, let's cut into this because I'm dying to have a piece. Look at that. Perfect coffee cake with the apples on the top. Oh, that is really good. It's not too much of anything. It's just perfect right of everything. Not too cinnamony, not too appley. The cake, the crumb is soft and spongy. It is so good. I'm supposed to take just a bite, but I guess I'm not. Do you remember when I said it never lasts more than 2 days? This is why. It is so decadent. So decadent, so yummy. You can definitely tell I devoured that piece in. Well, there you have it, a gorgeous apple pie cake that is made so quickly and with basic pantry ingredients. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning champion, thank you so much for your love. If you have not yet hit the subscribe button or the bell notification or even the like button, please do so now. We're really looking for your support. I have noticed that quite a few of you are watching the videos but are not subscribing to the channel. Help us grow our channel. It's a free thing that you can do to support the channel by hitting that subscribe button. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy this apple pie cake. It is got all the yumminess of an apple pie without the mess of making the crust, and it's light texture, and it is just so perfect to sit down and have a bite with a friend over a cup of coffee or tea. Thanks again. Have a wonderful day. Ciao for now. Don't forget to hit subscribe.